Hello, everybody, and you're so welcome to the first telling of a beautiful story that was just put together by our first group uh, that was funded by the Bealtaine Hero Award. So, thank you so much to the Bealtaine Hero Award and to our gorgeous group Liam Cummins, Noreen Moylan, Sharon Dickson, Willie Keane, Catherine Murray, Elaine Roberts, Terri Ryan, Anita Howard, Lily Tangney, Michelle, and Ray McKinley. Thank you so much for the beautiful morning that we've just had. And this is our story, Nora Whelan, the wise woman of Listowel. Nora Whelan was known locally as Smiling Nora, and everybody in Listowel loved her because she seemed to love just about everybody. She was a small, stocky little woman, but she had a heart the size of Ireland. She had 10 children and time for all of them, and time for her neighbours as well. And if you spent time with Nora Whelan, you found yourself slowing down. You found her pace beginning to be your pace too. This story happened around the time of Meathal, around the time of bringing in the harvest. It was a beautiful summer's day. There was people lying on the grass, chewing stalks of grass and having a little break from the hard work. There was apple tarts and there was egg sandwiches and there was tea in bottles and sometimes in cider bottles as well. It was just a lovely day and people were singing in their work. And when you closed your eyes and you listened and felt the sun on your face, you could hear the swarming of the flies and a bird singing in the trees around the field, and the slow clip, clap, clip, clap of the dray horse as he pulled the cart behind him. That was Mickey Joe's horse. And the horse's favourite time of the day was when Mickey Joe opened the gate at the end of the day and let him run around the field, throwing his mane up in the air, flicking off the flies and eating the apples that the people of the area offered him. But this day there was a small, curious little boy in the field as well. His name was Joseph. He loved going to the local cinema and watching the cowboy and the Indian films and how they used to go off on their horses and how they had great adventures. And somehow, small, skinny little Joseph managed to get himself up on top of the back of the dray horse. Everything was going great, and he was going around the field on the back of the horse when he had another idea. He would hold the reins and he'd pull 'em tight, just like he saw on the television. But when the horse felt that the reins being tightened, he got a bit afraid. You could see the whites of his eyes. He threw his head in the air, and that only made Joseph hold on tighter still and pull the reins really backwards. Oh my goodness, the horse got so afraid that he took off down the field. And when he did, all the people stopped because they heard the screams of Joseph. My hands! My hands! He said. And one of the local men, who could seem quite cross but was really very kind, said, Loosen the reins! Loosen the reins! But this only made the horse get more excited, and Joseph couldn't hear through sheer panic. Then into the air they heard a beautiful sound. Shade of a hewira, talan de grasta, lovely and slowly and methodically, the old prayer, and people began to join in. A wahir day, they called, Mother of God, a wahir day. And everything began to calm, and Nora's lovely presence and her beautiful slow pace began to penetrate the panic. And then she looked at Mickey Joe, who owned the horse, and she took an apple out of her pocket and she gave it to him because he knew what to do with the horses. And he put out his palm and he put the apple right into the middle of it, and he held it out to the horse and he gave him the soft words, Macushla, Taranshaw, Macushla. And the horse began to come towards him, and Joseph began to loosen the reins until they fell from his bleeding hands. And then finally Mickey Joe gave the apple to the horse, and he chewed happily, and he put his head down to the grass. And Nora said, For God's sake, get him down off the back of that horse. So they lifted him down because Nora was too small to do it herself. And then she put her arms around him, because that's what you did in those days when someone had a shock. You put their arms around them and you hugged them and you said nice words to them. Cree, don't be worrying now. When you're twice married, this will all be mended. The years passed, and Mickey Joe was an old man now, but he still had that silver sixpence in his hand that someone had pressed into his hand on that day. And he remembered Nora and her beautiful pace and the lovely community of Listowel, and how they made sure that the skinny little boy got a slice of apple tart and a bottle of tea on that day long ago in the Meadow Meadow. We hope you enjoyed this story from yesteryear, and we look forward to the next two groups and the next two stories. Bealtaine honey ye of go léir.